How is everyone doing today? I apologize for being 1 minute late. I did click go live at 1:31 p.m. Kind of a last minute thing. This ended up being a very, very busy week. So I just had to throw my live midday. Kind of feels like a Poke Flips without Nick. It's just Poke Flips without Nick today. This is about the time. Thursday at 1:15 usually we go live. But as I always do, I'm going to be live for a while. I am still trying to set up the highlighted chat in the back end, but I do have that ready now. I'll probably post this on Instagram quickly since it's kind of an atypical time for me. But leave your questions in chat. As always, I'm going to be answering questions. I have a hard end time at 3 p.m., if not slightly before. So I have about a 90-minute live stream for today, a little bit shorter than normal. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. I do have to go pick up my kids from school. And then there's just a lot of stuff going on. We got the field days this weekend. We've got a couple birthday parties. I think the wife has a, what do you call it? Wife has a bridal shower, I believe. So it's a busy, busy weekend. And building a couple raised garden beds. Been at this house now for 5 years. 5 years, and it's like I wanted apple trees, and best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is today. I think we planted them 2 years ago now. I think they're going on 2 years old. But getting some blueberry bushes planted, like all these things I should have done immediately. Bearing the fruits of my labor, I would be today had I done it on time, but I did it for the second best time. Same thing goes for the garden and all that. But yeah, 1 second, I will have this story up. I apologize. And then I will check chat and see who's hanging out. I know I saw Ponga there, I saw Mike Canton there. See if we can lure a couple more people in with the Instagram post. But yeah, how's it going, Mike? I think, yeah, there's the highlight chat. It is working. I've got my dog with me today, too. I usually don't have her with me, but she's here today. Market Scraper. We got Ponga. So how did selling all your Destined rivals go? You mentioned you were selling it all since margins are so good, right? I'm simultaneously, I am selling it all, and I'm buying more, and I'm selling it all, and I'm buying more, and I'm selling it all. It's almost all gone. So let me. Destined Rivals was in my title. It's a very relevant subject. So let's chat on Destined Rivals for a minute. I will pull up some hot, fresh stream data, and I will tell you how many we sold. So I was allocated approximately 7,000 packs between my two distros. I only got 7,000 packs. I put 4 cases back on the pallet every set release for me and my dad. That's 864 packs. So 864 packs out of 7,000-ish were set back, can't be touched. And I sent the other 7,000 to PK and Ponga. And PK sold so far 3,665 packs. That's not current as of, this wouldn't be counting last night's stream or today's stream. The PK sold 3,665. Ponga sold 1,927. He did some bonus streams on release weekend. He went live on Saturday. He went live on Sunday much earlier and went a lot longer than normal. So we've already sold, of my original allocation, it's basically gone. 864 packs for the pallet, 5,592 packs for the live stream sales. I think somewhere, I had a tab in here to see exactly how much. Here's my Destined allocation. So my Destined allocation, I was kind of waffling on the number there because I couldn't remember. I had 6,928 packs allocated to me. Some things like the booster bundles, I sent some of those to PK and Ponga, but some of those, like I think I sent a sealed display right to Probstein. It's like they go for some kind of a premium, just chuck them. I think I sent the 3-pack. I might have broke down some ETBs, whatever the case may be. Functionally, everything is either palletized or sold. And I went out into the market. And I bought from Hills. I bought from P Football P. I bought from a handful of locations to test. I wanted to test. I actually shout out TCA Gaming. I think most people in here, if not every single person in here, knows Rusty. He sold me at like 80-85% of market. He sold me a handful of cases to go to Ponga, because one thing that I struggle with is I usually get product on Wednesday or Thursday, the day or two before release, and Ponga's in Chicago area. He's in Illinois, so me getting a product on Wednesday, having to turn it around in 2 days, it's not a pleasant thing. I've paid $100 and something to get like surging to him one time, and it didn't get to him in time. It was like a week late, USPS priority mail. But I tried out a few things. I tried out a few different sources to more likely increase the odds that Ponga would actually have product at release. PK actually sent, I think he talked about it publicly, but PK sent a private courier, I will say, out to pick up product from me to bring it back home to him. I think he might have mentioned on his stream who it was, but in case not, I won't mention to be safe. But yeah, all the product was like physically picked up here, brought to PK, and that will probably be a trend moving ahead, just to make sure it gets there. But yeah, we've already sold. Let me, one thing I haven't done yet. We sold 82,600 packs this year. And of that, 5,592 are Destined Rivals. Let me see where Destined Rivals, so set, quantity. I just want to see where Destined Rivals falls for the year in sales, only having been out for obviously a very short amount of time. So Destined Rivals is the 5th most sold set of the year for us already. Journey Together only sold like 2,500 launch weekend, and then it sold 800-ish since. Destined Rivals sold 5,600 packs. So my whole allocation is gone. I bought some extra from Rusty. I bought some extra from P Football Pete, from Hills, all these different places. PK and Ponga are both like, I wouldn't say on fumes. They probably have a week's worth left. Maybe a few days to a week's worth left. I put it on my hot buy list this week. I actually had it on my hot buy list. So if anyone's interested, every Monday on my website, catchemallcollectibles.com/buy list, I update these 5 sets I'm paying 80% on, and all other sets I'm paying at least 70% on. Some 70, some 75, but these ones I'm paying the most on. Destined Rivals, if you have any, actually, 560 works out to 560 per pack, works out to 201.60 a box. I will pay 210 a box. I will pay. There's a decent chance Destined Rivals might be on my hot buy list next week at $6 a pack, 216 a box. So if you have Destined Rivals that you want to sell, I need it for the streams. I'm going to have you ship it straight to PK, straight to Ponga. I'll pay you out. ACH, Wire, friends and family, Zelle, however you want to be paid. I will, if you put signature on it, it's fully insured. Inbound to me, inbound to PK and Ponga. So, yeah, I really do need more Destined. I don't want to stock deep on it. I don't want to have like 10,000 packs and carry them on the way down, because I do think the pricing will go down. But simultaneously, I need to have them available for the consumers that want them. So I'm in kind of a pickle. I'm in kind of a bind. Same thing with Prismatic. How's it going, Rattle? Nice to see you in here. But yeah, we sold it all, and then I bought a bunch more, and we're selling it all. I'm gonna buy a bunch more. Like, I want to have, like, I need to have thousands of packs on hand. We're gonna sell a couple thousand packs a week for the next few weeks, hopefully. So I need to have minimum a few thousand packs, but I don't want to have much more than that, because I truly think in the next 24 months, I think Destined Rivals will be available under MSRP. MSRP is like $4.50 a pack, right? What is it? 166 divided by 36. It's yeah, like $4.59, $4.49 a pack, whatever it is. I'm buying it at $6 a pack. I'm buying it above MSRP. So I just don't want, I don't want to be sat on 50,000 packs and get destroyed on those. But I could be wrong too. I'm entirely open to being wrong. Thrifty, the #1 chatter in here. So Market Scraper, can you guys see this? Oh, you guys can't see this when I highlight it. But Market Scraper shows a #1 next to him. But now I see Thrifty showing #1. Thrifty's gonna see Rattle soon. Interesting. Is that Card Party maybe? Card Party probably, if I had to guess. Jesse says, so we're finally allowed to talk about vintage again. Yeah, if you follow like ZNG Emporium on Instagram, I've had a handful of big vintage cards come through my consignment as well. If you're ever interested in consigning through Fanatics, I can pay you out more than they pay out directly. Let me pop that up on the screen while I'm talking about it for a second. But I'm doing a little promo. James is taking a break. I'm not taking a break. Fanatics is obviously doing most of the heavy lifting. But anything above 480, anything that gets to my vault by July 4th that ends above 480 total sale price, I will net you out 95% of the total sale price. And a lot of people ask, buyer's premium, how does that work? You will get 95% of the total sale price with buyer's premium included. So everything above 480, you will net 95% for all cards received before July 4th. The issue with that guy in Chicago, Thrifty, if you're talking about old school Pokemon, he sells for MSRP or some percentage of MSRP, and he sells out release weekend. So Ponga and I talked about him a little bit, but unfortunately he won't. We need someone to scalp us the product, so that we need someone who will have it in stock that can scalp us the product. I need to make sure I pay close attention to the time, because time can get away from me very quickly, and I do need to leave right at 3. Hey bro, do you think the worst of the hype behind us with the release of Destined Rivals? I said this before, and I'll say it again here. I truly think Destined Rivals will see 300 before it sees 200. So ultimately, and this will blow some people's minds, because like the levels of nuance and like the fact that things, we live in a dynamic market where things change all the time. I simultaneously hold the belief that in the next day to 6 months, Destined Rivals will be above 300 a box. So I'm paying $6 a pack right now, in the thoughts that in the short to medium term, I think it's going to go up. I got allocated 20% less on Destined than I did on Journey. So I'm paying up for it. I need it for the streams. I simultaneously think, though, it'll be above 300 in the next 6 months, and I think it will be below 160 in, maybe not necessarily the box, but I think the packs will be below 450 a pack, below MSRP in the next 24 months. So does that mean the hype is behind us? I don't know. The 30th anniversary is coming. The black and white set's coming. All the ARs left and right. Every black white Pokédex card, Pokédex Pokemon will have an AR, right? So I think there's a lot of hype that'll always be coming. Next set, best set, FOMO, hype, all that stuff that the market's built on, that I warn people away from generally. I think summer slowdown, I don't fully buy into it. I think every year is very different. I think having hard, fast rules on like, oh, summer's going to slow down, and the Thanksgiving holiday with Cyber Monday and Black Friday is going to do X, Y, Z. And I don't tie myself or my business. I don't act in any different way around the summer slowdown. I don't act in any different way around any of these seasonality type things. But I just know that, hey, here's what I sold for the past week for Destined. Here's what I can buy it for. Here's what I can sell it for. I need to keep X amount in stock to have this many weeks, this many months worth of inventory. Certain things that I feel better on, like I feel better on the long-term price trajectory of Evolving Skies, of 151, of Crown Zenith. I want to have more Crown Zenith, more 151, more Evolving Skies than sets like Journey, Prismatic, Destined. I'm not going to get it all 100% correct. I'm not going to time all the highs and the lows and this and that. I'm just going to do my best on judging by my gut. 2-year general print window for sets, not always going to be the case, but I don't sweat it. I don't sweat it that much. I have a lot of inventory of all this. I try to keep more of the better stuff, less of the worst stuff. Worse being Destined Rivals right now. Not worse because it's bad. It's really, really good sales volume, but it's worse medium-term price trajectory. I'm estimating. And if I'm wrong, it's like I can just buy at 80% of a higher number and sell for 100% of a higher number, right? It's like if I'm right, then I'm carrying a bunch of inventory and I get all those gains. I get all those capital appreciation. What's the word I'm looking for? I get those long-term capital gains from the inventory going up. And if I'm wrong, then I just buy more at a higher price, and that's fine anyways. If I'm wrong, thinking a set will go up and it actually goes down, that's a lot more painful than just buying more of the set at a future. But like if I buy 10,000 packs of Destined at $6 a pack, and it goes down to 3, and if I'm right and it goes down to 3, 4, 450, whatever, that's more painful than just having to buy 1,000 packs a week for the next 20 weeks at $10 a pack when I was wrong. Because I'm buying them for 10 and I'm selling them for 12, 13, whatever it may be. So Yeah, I know that was a long, rambly, ranty answer, but hopefully that makes sense. That's the way my brain works navigating through times like this. We are on very early today. I love podcasts. Very apt name. Hope everyone is doing well in the hobby. Hope you are doing very well as well. Shows up late, leaves early. That's when you know you've made it. How's it going, Thrifty? Very big, exciting news for Thrifty. Thrifty will be joining forces with old school Pokemon. Very, very exciting times. I know that's one that recently went public, and I know there's a lot of, both for like the platforms, the grading card companies buying other grading card companies, the selling platforms buying other, but like us little guys and gals making big moves. I actually, one note that I had on my, I keep a little Word document open for things that I just want to cover, notes for me to talk on something if I can't think of something to talk about. I've never really run into that issue, but if I do, I've got something to prompt me. Streamers 3 and 4. Streamer 3 is kind of already there. Skya, that one guy, he's already there streaming Metazoo. He streamed Metazoo for a few weekends on Fanatics. He's streaming Metazoo on eBay Live, actually. I actually kind of quietly. I only announced it in a Metazoo Saturday video, which get a tenth of the views, a fifth to a tenth of the views that my normal videos get. But Skya just kicked off Catch 'em All Collectibles on eBay Live. And I had a meeting with them this week, and we're set up to go. And I'm torn on exactly how and which way I'm gonna attack all this. I have two of the locked down platforms. Whatnot is open season for anyone. Anyone can go fire up a Whatnot. Leads to certain kinds of issues. Mr. Rattle Pokemon himself was in here. He makes a lot of content from the Rattle sellers. Thankfully, and hopefully it continues to be the case. I know I won't be the bad one having to go on there. But hopefully eBay Live and Fanatics Live stay a lot more clean than Whatnot has, because they're gated. And I got through the gates. They let me in. So I'm on Fanatics since October. I've been on eBay since last May. I just haven't used it. I've been on eBay. I've been approved. I've been in the gated community of eBay Live since May of 2025. And I just didn't use it. We just fired it up last weekend. And Skya's going to do once a week Metazoo. Maybe at some point there will be a streamer 3, streamer 4. Skya is streamer 1 for Metazoo. That's I'm not counting Skya. His work is very much appreciated. He's doing the singles on my eBay for Metazoo as well. But Pokemon streamer 3 and Pokemon streamer 4 will likely happen at some point. It's pretty crazy to have underutilized eBay Live so heavily. I know of a lot of people who are trying to get in on it, and I'm in there and I'm just not using it. So navigating how to, I don't want to leave Fanatics by any stretch of the imagination. They've been doing really well for us. It's been a really good mutual business relationship with Fanatics. So trying to solidify, cement what we have on Fanatics, and then trying to fire up something on eBay Live too. In my mind as of today, and things could definitely change, as of today, I think 80% of the business will be on Fanatics and 20% of the business will be on eBay. Could be subject to change. That's just my thoughts as of today. But as of today, it's 99% Fanatics and 1% eBay with Metazoo. But yeah, that I forget what comment even prompted me to go down that route. Where did my highlight chat go? Here we go. Oh yeah, talking about Thrifty joining old school stream team, and there's other things going on, and I hear different things from time to time. Other people in the space building their own operations. James, ZNG Emporium, not in the streaming space, maybe someday. In the consigning space, he's kind of taking a month off. So DC Sports and myself are going at him with some promotional rates. But James hiring, growing, and it's awesome to see so many friends in the hobby crushing so hard. It is so nice to see. Why are you here, Daniel? Very busy weekend. I'm not gonna have time. We're building some raised garden beds tonight. I started them the other night. We're gonna finish them tonight, and then we might be doing the field days tomorrow. So I just didn't have another night to do a live stream. I had to do it during the day. Lot of birthday parties this weekend. How's it going, Andrew? Nice to see you. And now the doggo's napping. I'll by the end of the stream, someone remind me in an hour, and I will I think she's done a face reveal. I think she's done a face reveal on YouTube before, but if not, we'll get her up. We'll get her up here. Destined Rivals being comprised of probably the best 2 Japanese sets from the SV era gives me hints or some slight notes of Evolving Skies. Essence also has a strong theme. I'm like optimistic on it, but I'm optimistic and bullish. Weird way to say it. I'm bullish on Pokemon's ability to print anything to sub MSRP pricing. They've done it with every set in the entire history of Pokemon. I think they will do it with Prismatic. I think they will do it with Journey. I think they will do it with Destined. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I just buy at a higher price and I miss those gains in between. Not a big deal. How's it going, GM? Just hanging out, doing a live stream. Do you think the singles market will continue to go lower throughout the summer? The Gengar VMAX is down 150 since February and steadily decreasing. I generally think, and there's always going to be points to the contrary, singles and slabs, oftentimes, they come out at like their highest price they're going to be, especially if you do like real returns, especially if you consider like inflation. If you consider opportunity cost, that's a whole different ball. I don't speculate in singles or slabs whatsoever. Occasionally, there will be promos that I buy a lot of to just grade and sell. Sometimes promos, very, very rarely. Greninja Gold Star, when it went down to $1, $1.50, I bought hundreds. So I speculate very rarely on very cheap singles that I think are that have good opportunities. But I generally think most singles will continue to trend down. I'll give that answer at any time, all the time, at any time. I think they will continue to trend down. Some go up a lot. I think it's very tantalizing to try to spec in singles because a lot of times the biggest winners will be above any booster box, above any ETB, above any sealed product of any kind. The biggest moves are always in singles, but that's both up and down. And I know Alex Nostalgianomics talks about it a lot. Sealed gets opened, it gets destroyed. Less of it exists out there every day. Singles and slabs, when you destroy the sealed, you create the single, so they only go up over time. Demand can go up and down though too. Like I generally am bearish on singles and slabs always. There's exceptions. There's certain ones but there's not exceptions that like I'm not speculating in any. There's no single slab that I hold right now that I'm like, or single or slab that I'm, aside from Greninja Gold Stars, aside from like some promos that I just have hundreds of. DK is a once in our generation streamer. He's on that grind for sure. He's FaceTime on camera, on stream, live selling. He's doing 40 to 50 hours a week on like then adding receiving the packages, sorting all that stuff out in the back end, getting the streams prepped, getting the streams listings up, and packing and shipping. He's crushing. I'm looking to sell all my sealed boxes. Is collector a good way to price everything, or will I get cooked on that deal? Collector, I think you'll cook the buyer. I think collector, I don't know. Panga is very negative. Anytime I mention something about collector, I think he says it's really, really bad. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. I generally think it leans higher, but I'm not even entirely sure. I've bought some collections based off collector pricing, and I've just like, I don't care enough. It's not worth my time to dig too much deeper. I've just lowered the percentage a little bit if it felt a little bit high. But yeah, I don't know. Depending on how many you have, TCG player is the way to go. TCG, like, depending on what's higher, what's lower, like maybe you want to go off eBay if eBay's higher, TCG player if TCG player's higher. But I buy packs though. If you're interested in selling packs, sealed cases, sealed ETB cases, I'll buy those. I don't buy onesie twosie random booster boxes, ETBs, anything like that. I don't know what's being leaked. This was 18 minutes ago, so sorry, Panga. I don't know what was being leaked. GM sent Panga a pizza. How's it going, Saber Games? What needs to be higher? Is that, I don't know. Thrifty says, yuck, I'll go. I think that's when I mentioned she was the number one chatter. I love this leaderboard. Actually, Mr. Walrus right now, 75 XP, number 1. Thrifty TCG, number 2 with 75 XP. Saber Games, 7963, number 3 with 75 XP. I need to add, I guess, let me find a topic to rant on. And then, yeah, congrats to Thrifty. We got Daddy Donkey Kong in here doing Daddy Donkey Kong things. Hope you are having a decent day today, Daddy Donkey Kong. Let's see how much negativity you can bring to the chat. How do sealed sports do with your consignments? So I can't consign sealed. Hopefully I'm asking Fanatics to bring back sealed, because this time last year I could do it through them, but as of right now they're not. They might do very limited sealed sports, because Fanatics is the producers. Fanatics holds the license over Topps. They got them from Topps on a lot of the sports, so maybe they sell some sealed sports stuff that it's their own stuff, right? So they don't really need to vet it because they literally produced it. I don't know how that works, but in general, I do not consign sealed product, sports or Pokemon. Hey bro, just bought a PSA 7 base Zard. How many years before I get a GF now? Skater Nesto, I know you are a happily married man, so hopefully never. Hopefully you never get a GF now. Ponga's going to be seeing some more Thrifty, though Nick moved out to Ponga's area recently, and I'm not sure, aside from Collecticons, I don't think he really sees Nick much. Yeah, James is definitely doing well off those vintage record sales on consignments. What is your opinion on what singles to either get to sell or get to hold on to as a single seller? Again, I'm not really a single seller, so I'm not like, it would be out of place for me to answer a question on something that I'm not doing. I think YouTube is filled of plenty investment cosplayers, many business cosplayers, people who talk confidently about the future price action of X, Y, and Z when they've owned none of it, they've never sold anything. Like, I just won't be that guy. The only thing I'll say is, like, TCG Player puts out a list, I don't know if it's once weekly or once monthly, of like the hot, in-demand, high sales volume things that are like low stock on TCG Player. TCG Player actually gives you tons of data. It's surprising how much data they give for free on sales history, volume, and all that stuff. So look for things that just sell frequently. A lot of my business is focused around just liquidity. Liquidity is the name of the game on what I'm doing. Not the only game that you can play, but it's the game that I'm playing right now. After journeying together, I think people slowed down a lot. Scalpers seem to have taken a hit. So before Destined, we actually had one of our worst weeks. We sold under 3,000 packs on our stream after selling on average between about 5,000 packs a week is what we had been doing. 4,500 to 5,000 packs a week is what we had been doing for March, April, and early May. And then late May, we had a couple weeks. Were people saving for Destined? Were people, I don't know what exactly was going on, but we just had a record week. We just had a record stream week selling. I'll get the exact number. We sold 7,708 packs last week. I think it was like, I pulled this 2 days ago and then I pulled it today. I think 2 days ago it was over 8,000. It was just over 8,000. But it's 7,708 right now as of today. So yeah, we Destined. Will it be long term? Will it save us forever, or was it just a one week and done, short little spurt there, flash in the pan? As of right now, Destined has halted the summer slowdown, at least as far as Catch 'em All Collectibles live streaming goes. Can someone please sell Dan 5,151 packs? Yes, please. I am paying $9 per pack. I will promptly wire you upon receipt. Ship to my P.O. box, ship to PK, ship to Ponga. I will tell you how and where to ship each of the 5,000 packs. Ship with signature required, and it will be fully insured. If they get lost on the way in, I will pay you out in full. But I will promptly wire you ACH. I can't do Zelle for 45. I can't do PayPal friends and family for 45 grand. But I will promptly wire you $45,000 upon confirmation and receipt of 5,151 packs. I would probably buy more than that, honestly. Have you ever run your pack sales metrics against market price metrics? I wonder if a surge in booster box price leads to more people buying those packs on stream in the few months after. It's actually the opposite. I am compiling so much data. I love how much data. I say, every time I say it, I think about it consciously. I say data and then I say data. But I'm compiling so much data, and I'm excited to parse through it at some point. Maybe if the summer slowdown comes into full swing, maybe in July, August, maybe I'll have more time to parse the data and do a lot of cool visualizations. But like Crown, we were selling 1,000 a week when it was $6 a pack. When it went to 10, seemingly overnight, we sell a lot less of it now. In the past week, we've sold 200 Crown. Oh no, that's 151. We've sold 200, 151. We've sold 63 Crown. We've sold 63 Crown. So yeah, I have 6,000 packs in inventory, and we sold 63. So I have 100 weeks. I have 2 years worth of Crown Zenith on hand with PK and Ponga. So it's slowed down a lot after the price went up. Leak Dan, leak it all. Sky does count. He's MetaZoo streamer 1. I was talking about Pokemon streamer 3 and 4. I have to renew my collectors club soon. What's the stream schedule? So Monday through Friday, PK is live from 11 a.m. till I'll just say till whenever. Till sometimes 1 p.m. Sometimes it's a 2-hour stream. Sometimes it's a 3-hour stream. It depends on how many people are there. But he's live from approximately 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. And then Thursday and Sunday nights, it's Ponga at 8 p.m. Eastern until closing, until he closes up shop because there's no more pack sales going through. And then every night aside from Thursday and Sunday, Monday through Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, it is PK live from 8:30 p.m. onwards. So that's like the current stream schedule. At some point, I plan on getting a streamer 3, maybe a streamer 4, and I kind of want to target. I feel like our big misses are Saturday and Sunday between 10 a.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. It's just open. There's no one there. We have a 10-hour block that I feel is like relatively prime time for streaming, and we're not utilizing any of it. So that's like the lowest hanging fruit, in my opinion. Some of the next lowest hanging fruit would either be like 3 p.m. Eastern until 8 p.m. Eastern, that window Monday to Friday. And then after that, it would be, in my opinion at least, it would be 1 a.m. Eastern until 4 a.m. Eastern or so. So like 10 p.m. Pacific until 1 a.m. Pacific. Those are like my targets of what hours I want to attack next. On Fanatics, eBay, we've got, how many hours are in a week? 100 and, what is it? 7 times 24, 140, doing math, 168 hours. Doing math live on YouTube is always dangerous, but 168 hours we have available right now for Pokemon on eBay Live. MetaZoo, we've got 2 or 3 hours locked down. We're locked down from 2 p.m. till about 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. We do have Sky there. So I don't speculate except when I do. What I should say more accurately, 95% of my capital is in sealed product inventory for the live streams and sealed product speculation, investment, that kind of stuff. 5% or less is in singles and slabs, and it's all for sale, aside from 1% is in Gold Star Greninjas and whatever other random things that I'm just like, oh, hey, let me buy 300 of those because it seems too cheap at $1 or $2 or $3. PK sounds underpaid. Fed by Ponga, who is also paid at the same rates. So sneaky way of saying that he wants a raise. He did just get a solid one, though, I hear. What about vintage low pop slabs of good Pokemon? I think a lot of those will perform well, but I just don't do it. I like obviously like in today, as of today, it's in the title. What did I call it? Vintage Pokemon, blah blah blah. Vintage Boom, Destined Rivals and Vintage Boom. If you did not buy 6 months ago your Gold Stars and your Shinings and your Crystals and your like, why would you be buying them today? Could you buy them today and they're double in 3 months from now? Absolutely. But like, why? It's all I can say. For the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, Why are you not buying the vintage? Why are people buying it now? And some people, they just came back in and they're multi-deca millionaires, and who cares whether it's 10 grand or 30 grand? I'm just gonna buy it. That's a valid answer. Some people, that is their answer. But there are some people that are chasing big numbers, and they chased them in 2021 and they got burnt, and they'll chase them. Like, a lot of people just chase and they just burn money left and right. Sell now, retail's coming back hard. It all depends on your opportunity cost and all your buckets and blah blah blah, all the same things I always say. I never tell people what to do. I tell people what I'm doing and why. My general thing is, like, I'm keeping the live streams stocked, so I'm always buying a lot. But more than that, like, the general trend for the past month and for the coming 2-3 months, piling cash. My bank account is the highest that it's been all year. That's not a flex. That is a statement of, like, what I am doing in my business, as this entire channel is. My bank account is currently at the highest it's been all year. And I want it to be higher next week, and I want it to be higher next week. I want to be a net seller overall in the coming 3, 4, 5 weeks. One thing I say, and Warren Buffett would cringe if he heard it said in Pokemon, there are no called strikes in Pokemon. You don't have to swing. A lot of people come in and they've got some money burning a hole in their pocket, and they're like, what should I buy? This seems hot, that seems hot. They decide on buying $260 Destined Rivals, and it's like, there are no called strikes in Pokemon. All this stuff, I believe, will be available again someday under MSRP. I'm buying it to resell immediately because I have the live streams, but I would not be buying, and I'm not buying significantly for long-term holds. If I was, it would be 151 packs. It would be Crown Zenith packs. It would be Evolving Skies packs. It would be things like that. It would not be these vintage slabs. It would not be these brand new boxes that are days old, weeks old, months old. But I'm just one guy doing one set of things, and I've lost money before, and I'll lose money again. I've been wrong on things. Collectors are always way behind when something moves. They're conservative with taking price updates. Just depends on market if it's high or low. We need to get Nick in here and dominate the scoreboard. Oh yeah, that's one thing I was gonna do. Let me open a second instance of this. See if this works. I'm going to, so you guys all can see, I want to make this an integral part of the stream moving ahead. The engagement I really like. I don't know why I'm taking a screenshot. Let me add in, I'm going to add in a new source, a window capture, scoreboard. And we're going to, which one is it? This one? Yes. So I'm going to have a scoreboard. You all are being watched. Sorry, Stephen Kassoon, you are 11th, so you're going to be cropped out of the top 10. Here are your, we don't need the XP. So here are your top 10 chatters. You guys, if you want to fight to get on the scoreboard, if you want to fight to get off the scoreboard, now you at least know where you stand. I probably will make that an integral part of the chat moving ahead, because I just think it's a hilarious concept. I really like it. It's funny to me. Let me move it under there, and let me move it. So now everyone knows where they rank. We got it's weird because it shows, like, the Godly Shad, it shows his actual thing. It shows his actual Mr. Walrus ZNG Emporium lowest consignment rates shows his actual Mr. Walrus period. But we're gonna run it. We're gonna send it. The scoreboard is there. So if anyone wants to pump up that engagement, try to crack the top 10. Let's see if yeah, Bierski's throwing a message in so that he doesn't get knocked out of that top 10. That is very wise of you, Bierski. Hug your children, folks. Donkey Kong is what you get when you don't. Oh, man. Take a bold stab. What do you think Evolving Skies price will be in 5 years? And do you think it can surpass Team Up? Anytime I do a price trajectory, it's so impossible. I have no idea how that works, Stephen Kassoon. I see number 2 next to you on my screen. I see number 2 next to you. And then on the leaderboard, I see... I have no idea how it works. Yeah, you're outside the top 10. You were 11th there. I think one might be... So I think in chat you see today. I think Steven Kassoon, I think you're number 1 today. Wait, now Bierski shows number 1. Maybe it just shows you having the number 1 if you're in the top 20. That might be like a top 20 thing, but I'm not positive. But yeah, appreciate you, Java, for the 5 gifted. Let me say that. And then UAP wants me to say huge congrats to Java for opening a store. Yeah, shout out to Java. If you are in the Wake Forest area. Did my lawnmower freeze? Stupid lawnmower. That's actually hilarious because this morning, my neighbor texted me. Last night I was mowing the lawn. I got stuck in my front ditch and I went out with a couple boards. I put them under the tires in the mud and it was so greasy, muddy that I couldn't get out even with the boards. Why is this failing me? Let me refresh it. There we go. It went away. Sorry, Java. I think the lawnmower broke down. Funny thing, the lawnmower broke down on today's stream for Java's 5 gifted. It also broke last night. It spent the night in the ditch because I was just sick of it. It was 90 degrees yesterday and I was mowing the lawn. And I don't know how the ditch was still that wet. But I towed it out this morning with my car. I hooked the tow strap to my car and I pulled it out. But my neighbor texted me. He's like, hey, if you need help, I can pull you out with his truck. He recently had to pull his lawnmower out of his ditch area, I think, with his, because he mentioned something about how it was funny that he wasn't the only one that got stuck. Maybe he didn't have to actually pull his out, but I saw the tracks in his lawn where he was slipping sliding a little bit. But anyways, that was a nice little random rant from a technical difficulty, a technical error with the lawnmower. Sorry for that, Java. You didn't get to see the lawnmower drive 5 times. Let me scroll back up. I have more issues with lawnmowers than anyone else. There's Bierski saying hi to everyone. Morning stream. Very mad. Yes, it's a busy week. So I just if I didn't do it now, I wasn't gonna do it at all this week, and I didn't want to miss. The fact that I'm doing it only fortnightly again every other week, like I can't miss a stream if I'm doing it only every other week. Nick's within an hour of you. I don't think I have anyone. Is anyone here within an hour of me? I don't believe so. Is anyone? I'm 40 minutes from Syracuse, but I'm in my PO box. I'm in Verona, New York. I don't think there's anyone. I feel like if Old School was in an hour of me, if Ponga, if Bierski, we would meet up at least once a month. Like, how could you not have a night where you go to a wing night, go meet up at a bar somewhere in the middle of a restaurant, have a meal, have some drinks, have some wings, and I feel like that would have to happen. But I live too far out in the middle of nowhere that I don't think anyone's near me. I get to see my people 3, 4, 5 times a year when I go to events. That's the only time. The Godly Shad loves this vintage. Boom, outpacing all my modern in the last 6 months. I get the DMs. I know Godly Shad is a big fan, and I like to see it too. I like to see everything in the hobby, even things that I don't have, go up. I worry a little bit. I worry how much they're going up, and it's like some people are gonna see it go from 10 to 30 and then back to 20 or 15 and be like, oh damn, I wish I sold it. I'm gonna make a video. It might be this Monday, it might be the next Monday, on greed. Times that I got greedy in the hobby and I didn't sell something and I kicked myself for selling, for not selling at the time and selling it way later, or still owning it today and not having sold it. Some of them are going to be really funny. Some of them are crazy. Another video I could make at some point is 5 things I sold too soon. A lot of the things I sold too soon, though, I put the proceeds into something else that did really well. I sold a PSA 9 Gold Star set in 2020. That would be a top 5 one. PSA 9 Gold Star set in 2020 for $13,000. It was in like February or March of 2020. And look at the recent Gold Star sales. PSA 9 like mudkips and stuff doing like multiple thousands of dollars. PSA 9 Rayquaza alone now. PSA 9 Gold Star Charizard alone, I believe, are more than the $13,000 I got for the entire 27 card set back in early 2020. It was a different time. But what did I buy with it? I bought a #1 trophy Pikachu that I sold for many multiples of what I paid for it. So yeah, it but some of the some of the things that I held too long and then tied up that money opportunity cost and they went down 50% from where I could have sold them. Those ones are more painful. The high demand list from TCG players legit. Their cards shaking the market list feels insanely subjective and super hand-picked though. The irony in grown adults chasing investing in mass-produced modern product will be laughable in 5 years. I did hear that 5 years ago. I heard it 5 years before that too. I probably said it. I've probably said it sometimes in my past 11 years. I truly think that there's a decent shot that I will regret hanging on to some of these pallets for longer than I should have. I think there's a decent chance that I'm punished to an extent, but I've not yet been punished in sealed Pokemon, investing, speculating. So I'm going to do it harder than I have in the past because so far it's only been green. It's only been rewarded. New era of printing started in 2022, 10 billion cards. We haven't seen the ramifications of what could be a modern era investing bubble. The fact that some people think there's zero chance is scary. I know that there's a percentage chance, and I think, Cameron, I think you know, like you and I are on a similar page. I know the risks on what I'm getting involved in with the pallets and all that. A lot of people think there's no risk whatsoever. There is risk, there is downside, but I think all things considered, my opportunity cost, my cash flow, blah, blah, blah. I like having it, and I'm going to continue to have what I have. Ponga's not having any of the Godly Shads. Modern is dumb to invest in. Thoughts on buying raw gold stars? So hard to find pricing on them. Pretty much no sales on TCG Player. I know. Shout out to Trainer Max. He doesn't have a YouTube. Well, he has a YouTube that he posts a couple of private videos on here and there. He's in the Discord. He's in the Pokenomics Patreon. Shout out to the Pokenomics Patreon if anyone wants to join that. $10 a month. You get access to Jake and I. We do weekly office hours and Discord voice chat. We do once monthly. We do a Patreon Zoom call for a few hours with a handful of people, and then we post that later. We record it for people who want to consume that later. But Trainer Max recently did a deep dive on his lifestyle as a, what did he call it? A nomadic Pokemon seller. He sells through consignment services, and one of the things that he does a lot of, if you see on my consignment, on James's consignment, if you see like a low mid grade gold star, there's a decent shot it could have been Trainer Max because he does well with those. He does well with those. I think there's a lot more ambiguity in the pricing, but you can do well in so many different spaces. Like all the data's out there. Go on eBay, look at all the past sales, look at Fanatics, look at Heritage, look at Golden, and just do your best at pre-grading the raw cards from the images that you see. And there's margin to be made. There's margin to be made in so many different ways. Does it make any sense that Pokemon printed more last year than they did this year? Apologies if you've already answered this. This is one that like I thought about making a video on, but the PSA thing was too juicy to not make a video on, so I went for that instead. Pokemon did print 1.7 billion cards less in fiscal 2024 than they did in fiscal 2023. I think it's like if you had asked me, and I think I made a guess in the January 2025 video I did on 2025 market predictions. I think I made a guess at how many were printed. I think I guessed like a range around what they had printed, like a little bit lower, a little bit higher wouldn't have surprised me. But obviously hindsight's 2020 and Monday morning quarterbacking's easy. It's pretty not surprising when you really think about it. It's not surprising that what happened, right? Very easy to say. But why do I say that? I think it makes a ton of sense because 1 year ago, where were we 1 year ago? Let me actually pull up TCG Player. 1 year ago, I probably don't have space with the leaderboard and everything right now. Should I leave the leaderboard? Should I not? I don't even know if the leaderboard is like dynamically refreshing. Let me see if I refresh it. It turns into the chat. Oh, Java's number. So yeah, the leaderboard's not dynamically refreshing. So I'm going to hide it right now. Maybe from time to time, I will refresh it and then pop it back up there. But a year ago, every Scarlet and Violet era booster box was not sub MSRP. They were sub $100. Every Scarlet Violet era booster box was sub $100. I don't even need to put it up on TCG Player because like if you were here, you know it. If you weren't here, I promise. Go pull up Obsidian Flames. Go pull up Scarlet Violet Base. Pull up Paldea Evolved. They're all sub 100. And until Twilight Masquerade, they didn't start taking off. So context is Pokemon. So what the number was fiscal 2024. Fiscal 2024 happens between April 1st of 2024 all the way to March 31st of 2025. And so April 1st, 2024, you wake up and it's time. Well, realistically, you've probably got to make the print orders with the print facilities for April of 2024 in like October of 2023. So in October of 2023, things were cheap, things were available. If you were Pokemon in your ivory tower, you had to call up the printer. Hey guys, prices are kind of like flat, down. Prices are a little bit lower than we want them to be. So all the print orders that were made between October of 2023 and October of 2024, the market was like sub $100 booster boxes, pretty flat. Last summer, you could go into any Costco across America and you could find $80, $85 Mew UPCs that are now $300 today. So maybe that started turning around Twilight Masquerade. Maybe that started turning around like June or July. When was Twilight Masquerade released? Twilight Masquerade release date. May of 2024. So that didn't come right out of the gate that hot. I think it took a little bit to get going. But say it started getting hotter around July. Say the boxes started ticking up around July. I know October is when it accelerated. Well, October of 2024, you didn't have any time to react. Like say that you started getting an inkling, getting a feeling. Up until August, September, distros were like fairly deep stocked on like Paradox Rift and some of those sets too. I know Brian Pokeyani has talked about that a couple times. But so for context of when these print orders would have had to have been made, the market was saying like, whoa, pump the brakes. You're burying us here under this product. These days, like Pokemon is obviously like print everything you possibly can, maybe bringing up more printing capacity. I've heard people talking about if that's actually happening. I don't know. But I think it makes perfect sense. And obviously it's obvious in hindsight, but I think it makes perfect sense that it was, and it was only slightly less. Yeah, marginally less in 2024. I won't G-word it, but I would be very shocked if Pokemon doesn't print more next year than they did this year. I think the more next year will be more than this year and more than last year. I forget what the exact numbers are, 12 point whatever, 10 point whatever. I think it'll be 13 plus next year. Could be wrong. Maybe something turns in the next 3 months. Maybe it doesn't end up being 13 billion plus. But as of today, I'm guessing the next number we get next June from Pokemon will be 13 billion plus. Modern will be... All vintage was once modern. All modern will one day become vintage as well. Crazy thing, looking at sell rate and inventory on the market, Destined Rivals can hit 300 per booster box next week. Yeah, I don't know about next week, and maybe it could. I'm not gonna bet against that. But I truly think I am 90% confident, and 90% doesn't mean a guarantee. I could be wrong. I'm 90% confident Destined Rivals sees 300 before it sees sub at MSRP, and I'm 90% confident it will see sub at MSRP as well. Maybe neither of those happen. Who knows? Yes, like the tribalism, draw a line in the sand, modern, vintage, pick one and then duke it out. We don't have to do that. A lot of people will do that. Poke-san, the voice of reason here. Modern good, vintage good, Pokemon good. But let's just yeah. Everyone can do fine and it's all good. If you ever need a graveyard shift streamer, let me know. You just have to sponsor my entire existence and fully relocate me to the nearest shed. I can FedEx myself if needed. I will say, at one point several months ago, I did put out on a live stream like, hey, if you wanna update your resume and send it along to me. I did kind of like ask like, hey, if anyone's interested in streaming, potentially reach out. At this point, I have a couple, like a very short list of a few names of people I've already been in contact with. It is exceedingly unlikely that I will hire a streamer anytime soon, if ever, that I've already not talked like fairly extensively with. The levels of trust required for an offsite streamer that I send tons of inventory to, it's just got to be somebody that I've known for a long time and I know very well, and it's yeah. Losses don't happen until you sell. LOL, just hold. I understand the sentiment, but like losses happen while holding as well. Opportunity cost is the demonstration of that. Some people literally are bleeding away 30% interest on credit cards while holding. So like losses absolutely do happen without selling. I promise you. I understand it's said a lot of times, and there's some like granule of truth there. I understand what's being said, but also consider the other side, that like if you are getting kicked out of your apartment, if your spouse is leaving you because you have all these, oh, they're only paper losses, babe. Babe, they're only paper losses. Like, we can't pay rent. Oh, well, don't worry. I didn't lose money yet because I'm not going to lock in my losses and sell like a dummy. Like, I saw some clips go around. I saw some, what was it, on Dave Ramsey show, some TikToks and stuff that went viral. Those things happen, and losses are losses whether or not you realize them when opportunity cost is taken into account. And opportunity cost is like I made a video before, the #1 blind spot in Pokemon is opportunity cost. People fail to consider it whatsoever, oftentimes. Mr. Walrus, poking fun. I'm doing so good in Vintage. I need you to validate me live. Can you do it? He's just poking fun. The title is about, but see what I did though? I did Destined Rivals boom, Vintage boom. I tried to bring together the Vintage and Modern crowd. And to be fair, a lot of the same things go on in Modern too. Like, hey, let's all pat ourselves on the back. Me, myself, like included. Pallets are going bonkers, have a live stream, we doubled our money. Like, it's all crazy. It's all crazy. I am happy for people who made money in Vintage. I'm happy for people who made money in Modern. For both sides, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not super nervous, like, personally. I know my finances fully, right? I know what I'm able to weather and what I'm not able to weather, and I just worry that some people get caught in the noise and the hype and the FOMO, both in Vintage and Modern. And I know somebody, we saw it last boom. People were buying $400,000 base first Charizards, and then the same cert number a year later was being sold on auction for $250. People were losing 40% on their money, and people lost 90% on $1,000 EVs. People lost 80% on $7,000 base unlimited Charizards. People are going to do it again. Some people are 2xing, 5xing, 8xing, but some people are also going to negative 60%. And it happens every time. I don't know what you can do. Grimer says sometimes you got to bleed to feel something. A lot of people felt something in the boom. Dan in 5 years will be swagged out in gold chains and platinum glasses. Market cycles are a thing, and human psychology stays consistent until a paradigm shift occurs. I'll be wearing the same $10 sunglasses if and when the market continues as it has over the last 5 years. I'm going to try to catch up with chat because I'm a ways back and I have to end in 30 minutes. If I applied to be a streamer, would you pay me in Gold Star Ninjas? I actually do, from time to time, pay my current streamers in product. I may or may not have one streamer in chat right now as we speak begging to be paid in sealed product, and I don't have enough coming in to both fill the stream out and pay in packs. So Mr. Walrus says, hey, I'm right here, it's okay to name me. Mr. Walrus lost 40%. It's okay to name him. People only talk about their wins, rarely about their L's. Be careful with these content creators. The thing is, like, people talk about fictitious wins. People talk about theoretical wins that they weren't even a part of. Cosplay investors. Like, PokeTube is running, not even just PokeTube, I think it's all of YouTube, cosplaying as like, oh, look at these TCG player chart lines. Look at this, look at that. All these things. And some people are out there. Shout out to all the people that, like, have the stuff and talk about the stuff. They don't tell you to buy it necessarily. They don't tell you to sell it necessarily, but they have it. They tell you what they're buying and why. Look, I'm talking about like the Bryans, the Pokeanis. I'm talking about Rudy, Alpha Investments, the biggest one. I'm talking about like Alex, Nostalgianomics. they have product, they engage in the product. Eli, Pokemart, and they have like relevant information because they're dealing in it every day, and they're also simultaneously like setting a decent amount back and have months, years, potentially a decade worth of like success and track record to show. I'm very big on like people walking the walk, not just talking the talk. There's a lot of talk out there, and talk is cheap. All 176 black and white SRs are on PokeBeach. Do you want to go through them live? There's enough other Pokemon channels that are better for that. I genuinely like engaging in the product as it comes out. I like seeing it like live for the first time, not being spoiled. So I'm not going to be the channel for that. Sorry for that, Steven. There's a lot of them out there though. Take Dan's prediction and double it. That would maybe be safe. Have you heard any whispers about TCG Player adding new MetaZoo? I've not. I've actually reached out to my TCG Player rep a couple times, and I see it, people talking about it in the Discord. I don't know if it's coming anytime soon. Maybe they were too burned by the first go round. I truly don't know. Get a contractor to mow. James posted something in Discord recently. He posted something like, there's 3 levels of wealth. Level 1, you mow your own lawn. Level 2, you pay someone to mow your lawn. Level 3, you mow your own lawn. Let me see if I can find it just to make sure. No, I don't know if I can find it. I think I have to. Let me search 3 levels. I don't know. It was something like that though. And I think I skipped from level 1 to level 3. I never have paid someone to mow my lawn. I've been paid to mow others' lawns. I've mowed my own lawn back when I was younger. It used to be one of my chores. I used to mow my own lawn from when I was like 10 probably. My dad had me on the ride-on mower. So I enjoy it. It's like I don't have a commute these days. It's like a 45 minute throw on a podcast, wind down. I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of therapeutic in a way. I don't want to outsource that. Yes, I'm a perfect brisket rest duration away from Bierski right now. Any events / cons you're attending anytime soon? Very good question. I'm going to pull up my calendar right now. Not on screen because it's like my personal calendar too. But I'm going to Cleveland end of this month, June 28th, 29th. I'm not vending, but I'll be there at least one of the days. It's going to be a family trip. I will be there with my wife. I'll be there with my children. We will probably only show up to the convention one day, but there's a decent chance I might end up being out one of the nights. I might go out Friday or Saturday night with the gang. Maybe not out to the bars. Maybe we'll hit up one of the, maybe someone will have a suite. Maybe there'll be something going on like that. So I will be around for Cleveland. I believe I'm actually in the recommended hotel too for Friday and Saturday nights, maybe even Thursday night. I can't remember. But so after Cleveland, I'm doing New Jersey, July 12th and 13th. Again, not vending, but I'll be there. Again, it'll be a family thing. So I'll be around part of one of the days. Check my Instagram. I'll try to post on Instagram when I'm at the convention in case anyone wants to say hi. I'll be the tall guy. I might wear a MetaZoo shirt. I'll be the tall guy in a MetaZoo shirt, probably. Red MetaZoo shirt. So make myself more visible. And then I'm going to be doing Charlotte in August 9th and 10th. So those are my next 3 cons, all coming up pretty quick here. Like all of us, you probably have 2 balls and they're probably not crystal. No one can predict cards prices. The best we can do is understand fundamentals and make educated moves. Yes, I just do my best out here. I don't just talk the talk either. I walk the walk. I will tell people what I'm doing. Hey, Dan, what do you think about this versus this? Well, I have X amount of this and I have Y amount of this. I have more of this because I like it, because it's older, because it's better, because X, like, I'll tell you. I'll just tell you what and why, but I won't tell you what to have. Did you see the video with the scalper wetting his pants in front of GameStop because he didn't want to lose his spot? I did not hear about that. I did not see that. That is not generally the Pokemon content I engage with. But that is something. That is something. I'm sure it will make its rounds on all the React Pokemon channels that are out there. Mr. Walrus personally saw a man soaking his pants with passion and dedication. It was a very motivational story to Mr. Walrus, I guess. Yeah, I'm hedged. I have some amount of crypto. I have some amount of real estate. Only my primary residence, but it's fully paid off. I have my buckets, my S&P 500. I've got a lot of stuff going on. If and when Pokemon 10X's, if and when it goes down 90%, I'll be fine. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Everyone can place their bets and then just see what happens. If you're of the view that history is cyclical, doesn't it make sense we'll experience a lull like post WotC to XY again? I'm not like collectibles or cyclical. That's like something reserved investments will say. And again, I understand what he's saying, but I don't know how much that means. We don't know whether the cycle is going to be a 2-year or a 5-year or a 10-year. All this like charting, all this fitting things in the past. Like you can make a perfect 100% fit projection of what's already happened, right? It's easy. Making things replicate and forecast the future to some extent that's where it gets a lot harder. And people will have theories everywhere from Pokemon's dead in 2 years to Pokemon's printing 50 billion cards next year, like everywhere in between. I have no idea if PSA's pop report is public or scrapable. Those are APIs public. Fat Belly wants to find someone in Wisconsin that wants to get wings. Anyone around Central New York that wants to get wings? I know a few places we can meet up. Let me know what nights are free, and we will establish a wing night. Grimer says it has a public API he believes. Hot question: does Labubu Scream Beanie Baby repeat to you? Yes, it does. That said, it doesn't have to be. If they keep them very limited, if the fickle consumer demand decides that they really want to keep engaging with them, and Labubu could be a thing 5 years from now. Like people buying Labubu today could be rewarded. They could make a lot of money. I would lean heavily towards Beanie Baby 2.0. I just think, yeah, it feels like just one of those hot things for a short time, in my opinion. Very open to being wrong. I buy one piece from my distro because I have access to it. It's not brick and mortar exclusive. I immediately sell it all. I'm just getting it for the free tendies. When are we getting Dan's mom on the stream? Need to meet this matriarch. If my mom ever wanted to come on, if my wife ever wanted to come on, I guess I don't know if I've ever offered to my mom, because like my dad is I guess my mom owns half it, right? They have joint finances like my wife and I do as well, but I've never explicitly offered my wife my mom coming on the podcast, the channel, but I'll have to do that next time I see her. I don't know if she'd want to come on. I've offered my wife the opportunity to come on if she ever wanted to. Maybe someday she will. As of right now, she hasn't. Maybe when she retires, maybe she will retire at a very young age due to our joint ownership of this company. She is the vice president of Catch 'em All Collectibles Incorporated. So maybe she'll come on someday for a retirement stream. Maybe not though either. I don't know. At some point, I might get the kids involved with it, but I just feel weird. I feel weird about kids who are so young and they don't know what it means. Oh, YouTube sounds cool. I want to be a YouTuber someday. They don't really know. Putting them out there in the public space. I'm not like a big Facebook guy either. My wife has one, but she's like very notched down, like private amongst friends and family. Everything's not public. I get weird around all that. So maybe someday the kids will be involved on it to some extent. Maybe never though with them either. I guess that's more of they would be on it today, right now. Like if I went and picked them up from school, came back and went live again, they would love to be on here. They wouldn't know what was going on. I'd tell them they were on YouTube. I'd show them YouTube on the phone. Oh my, we're YouTubers now, opening Pokemon cards. Like they would enjoy it, but that one obviously is more my decision to make. But I lean towards heavily not having them on anytime soon. Money's definitely made by patience. I don't chase modern market, but I have friends who've been able to get 10 times the Destined rivals that they did Journey Together. Are you talking like allocations? I've never heard of that. I've heard of some people's allocations being flat, some being slightly up. I've never heard of an allocation being 10 times. But that said, like it could happen. One thing that I've said before is like if you're a brand new company, you're a brand new LGS that you just started with Journey Together and you got one box, could you get 10 boxes of Destined rivals? Absolutely, that could be a thing. Anecdotally, there's probably one person out there that had an allocation 5 or 10 times as much Destined rivals as Journey Together because Journey was so small and Destined was just bigger. Yeah. Context always matters. My dog is up and my dog is ready for me to end the stream. Let's have her say hi. Come here. She thinks we're leaving the office now because I said her name. Come on. But she's ready for the stream to be done. She's ready for me to go get her brother and sister. But yeah, you can see her tooth is not sticking out as much as it normally does. But she's got a pretty big underbite. Hey, she's got a pretty big underbite, and her teeth, like at rest, her teeth will just be sticking out. Oh, come on. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. But yeah, it's this side. You can't really see it, but yeah. Good girl. She's probably got to go to the bathroom. I'll probably have to end in 10 minutes so I can let her out before I go get the kids. We got Daddy Donkey Kong. Thank you, Mr. Walrus, for the moderation. Some people just cannot help themselves. Daddy Donkey Kong had to I don't know if the message was deleted or if he was banned, but whatever it was deserved. Thank you, Walrus, for wielding that wrench. Dan, they're not theoretical wins. They just go to a different school and their cell phone camera's broken. Would you lock in some profit on a vintage Pokemon collection now if you don't need the money? I don't need money at all, but the market seems pretty hot. It's so hard to play the hypotheticals. Back in 2020, 2021, I decided to sell it all. Some of those prices are higher then than they were now, are now. Some of them are higher today than they were then. Appreciate you, Ray. It's weird because it says who is receiving the subscriptions. It says Java Akuma gifted memberships, Thrifty gifted memberships, but they're receiving the memberships from Ray, who gifted 20. Appreciate you, Ray, for the 20 gifted. We will see the lawnmower run 20 times right now. The sound's not working though either. I don't know why. But anyways, thank you, Ray, for the 20. It all depends. Like, how much do you like the cards? How much money do you have otherwise? What's your opportunity cost? Like, is the money just gonna sit there? I would need to go case by case. But I would, if I were, which I'm not at this point, a true pure collector, I would contemplate selling a lot of my stuff with what the prices are doing right now. It just depends on so many things. Are you worth $100 million and you're talking about selling 20 grand worth of cards that don't matter, don't make a difference? I wouldn't sell any of them. Is your net worth 50 grand and your collection is worth 60 grand and you have negative 10 grand worth otherwise? I would contemplate selling some of my cards to rebalance things. So yeah, highly dependent. That's what I would do. I'm not telling you what to do. I've heard, so Hot Single TCG says, I've heard and experienced Destined Rivals being LP out of packs. Would it be worth picking up some Chase PSA 10s? I've heard Destined Rivals is the cleanest set since Crown Zenith. So I've heard very opposite things to what you're hearing. But that said, I've only opened a few Destined Rivals packs myself. I've not handled a lot of Destined Rivals singles. Are you going to mess with League of Legends Riftbound? I'll probably buy some. I've heard more and more people talking about it. I do have access to it as long as it's not brick and mortar exclusive. So I will probably buy a little bit of it. Level 100, you get paid to mow your own lawn. I need to tie it into the content so that I can be paid to mow my own lawn. That would be amazing. Cleveland over Card Party, yes, because I plan on going to Card Party West, and I don't plan on going June, Florida. Card Party, really? Come on, Pat. Pat, you're a smart guy, but Florida in June, I ain't about it. I went to Collecticon Orlando in May, and I'm much more of a Collecticon Orlando in February guy than a May guy. Hot Singles TCG. Grimer wants to buy your Hot Singles in Edison. Minivan is the play. Yes, I bought a Kia Carnival, and I'm very, very happy. I know that there are other Kia Carnivals out there. I don't want to dox what vehicles people drive, but I'm a proud Kia Carnival owner, and I know that there are others out there in the Pokemon space. Same year, same trim, same model, same everything. Mr. Walrus, you might need to change your name. Mr. Walrus ZNG Emporium lowest consignment rates. I think it's Mr. Walrus DC Sports 87 lowest consignment rates. 95% all the way down to dollar sales. He isn't lying. I'm 6'3" and I felt he was much taller than when I saw him at Plecticon Fort Lauderdale. I'm 6'4¾" without shoes. I don't know how this is a thing, but I feel like some people measure their height in shoes. How do you do that? Like your height is when you're barefoot, standing flat against the wall, and you just mark it down or have someone hold a tape measure or whatever. We actually have like height charts we made for our kids. When I was growing up, we had the we had a closet off the living room that we did our heights in the on the door jamb. Me and my sister growing up. So I really liked that. When we moved out of that house, we didn't take the door jamb with us. I kind of wish I had that to see like how tall I was by year. But for our kids, I made like a nice board that I put on the wall. I think it's a 6-foot board that we stained nice. We made it like a big ruler, but it's a 6-foot board that we mounted like 1.5 feet off the ground. So as long as they stay under 7'6" or 7 foot, whatever it goes to, we'll be fine and we'll capture all their heights. But yeah, I'm 6'4¾ without shoes. Depending on the pair of shoes I'm wearing, I guess I'm 6'5", 6'6". You do that when you're 5'7", trying to eke out 5 foot Nandan, you wouldn't know you're giant. I measure my weight, and I've been bad lately. I've been bad. I'm like 230. I haven't seen 229 in a while. I've drifted right into the 230 to 235 range, where I said I wouldn't let myself get to. So I need to get back on it. But I weigh myself out of the shower and I measure my height without shoes. I feel like everyone measures their weight out of the shower. They don't want to pump that number up. But then people cheat, people aren't consistent, and they measure themselves with shoes on for their height. That's cheating. If you're gonna measure your height with shoes on, then you gotta measure yourself with like a hoodie on and baggy jeans and your shoes and the same shoes you use for measuring your height. Those ones with the heel that's like that tall. Let me continue on because I have to wrap up in 10 minutes. Tosh had his wife on. When did I watched every episode, I believe, of Tosh's podcast, and I enjoyed a lot. He has like his painter on and his car guy, his travel person. Like he has just random people on from his life, and it's a fun one. I used to love Tosh.0, but yeah, it's called the Tosh Show on YouTube. What do you do with the non-TCG items you need to order to get larger allocations? I don't order them. I don't really play that game. It punishes me to an extent, but I don't really play that game. Den with a dog, what a gentle giant he is at heart. She laid back down. She's calm again, but she's ready. If I twitch towards the door, she's ready to sprint for it. She'll be fine though for 5 or 10 more minutes. I knew Ray before he flaunted his wealth on live streams. Favorite Pokemon from Black and White? Oof. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull it up. I'm gonna have to pull it up because I knew the starters. None of the starters stick out to me. Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott. None of them really stick out to me that much. I'm pulling up the Unova Pokédex. None of them are jumping out at me. Let me see. Excadrill is pretty beast in Pokemon Go. You got Girder, the Beerski Pokemon, the bridge builder. You got Ray, you got the Trubbish. Zoroark is pretty cool. You got Vanilla Ice Cream. My daughter's a big fan of Vanilla Ice Cream, Vanilla Frosties. I think Terrakian's pretty cool. Terrakion, Genesect. I'm going for the basic legendary answers. But Zoroark is cool. Um, Excadrill, not a super amazing generation for me personally. ROI on a kidney versus a Van Gogh Pikachu is the real question. I did see Dave Person selling his trophy collection. No, because he's pricing it. He's not pricing it for a reseller, and I would be a reseller. I don't have a net worth to be a buyer, a collector on that. I hope Dave finds his ideal buyer. I hope Logan Paul decides, like, I want to spend $10 million buying just auto-completed, the world's most extensive. Like, honestly, for both, for Dave, for Dan, DJ Gigabyte, and for the buyer, and for the hobby in general, dream scenario. And I think if Dan and Dave listen to this, I think they would both agree that this would be amazing. Dream scenario is like Steve Aoki or Logan Paul or someone like that buys it all. Like, I'm talking everything from Dave, 10 million, 12, whatever the number is, buys it all, and then pays a retainer to Dan, DJ, to maintain it moving ahead. That's like the dream scenario for all parties involved. Hopefully that happens. Is that likely? I feel like it's more likely he'll have to piece things out, part them up. I could be wrong, but hopefully that happens. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to be there. Sorry. How would a novice Dan be navigating a market like this after selling through a majority of his stored inventory already in a market that is still booming? Buy, sell, buy, sell. Just iterate. Iterate over and over. I was buying in 2020 a lot of different things. When WotC was booming in 2020, I was buying Masaki's, and I was buying Burn Towers, and I was buying promos like that in Japanese. I was buying Screams. There are things that are undervalued today. Am I going to list out the 5 most undervalued, hottest things to buy today? No, because I'm not really doing that in that way either. Right now, I'm buying sealed to sell on streams and just iterating. I'm not looking close enough to know what they are today, but I can guarantee you there are things that from today, a year from now, 2 years from now, will double, triple, quadruple, while some other things lose 50%. So there's something out there. There's something out there. George Strait, Alan Jackson, or Garth Brooks. That's 3 of the Mount Rushmore faces from my 90s country fandom. I'm currently listening to Check Yes or No by George Strait. That's a great song. I gotta go Garth. I had Garth Brooks Double Live on cassette growing up. I listened to that a lot growing up. Garth Brooks overall I think has the best, but like I think it would go Garth, George Strait, Alan Jackson, but like 3 S tiers. That's not like S, A, B. That's not like 3 S tier, maybe Alan Jackson like a high A tier at worst. Weight does change daily, not height. I fluctuate. Daddy Donkey Kong, now a member. Thanks, Ray. Depending on the day, over the past week, I've weighed 230 and I've weighed 236. I have at least a 6 to 8 pound variation, which is like an 8 pound variation on 230 pounds, like 4%. Water. Like if I wanted to intentionally swing that more, if I intentionally dehydrated myself, I could definitely see the 220s. If I intentionally, you drink, not that you could drink a gallon of water in one sitting, but a gallon of water is 8 pounds. A gallon of water is 8 pounds. So like you can fluctuate a lot intentionally if you want to. I never like wrestled or anything at a high level. Obviously those guys, they do it as like part of the thing. Ray wants to go mini golfing with Walrus. Opened Mango strategically weighs themselves at a certain time of day after a certain action. Oh, I could have named the starters without pulling them up. I do know the starters. I would have remembered Zekrom. Black and White, Zekrom and Reshiram. I've caught them recently in Pokemon Go too, so I cheat that way. So these, I'm surprised nobody asked about these. These are Japanese for the uninitiated. These are Japanese expansion decks. What do they call them? Pocket Monsters card game. There are 60 cards in here. There's 1 guaranteed holo at random. There are 2 rares, and there's a bunch of commons, uncommons, and energies. But these are Japanese starter decks from the base set. I have 30 of them that I just bought recently. They're going to be heading out to PK and Ponga soon for the live streams. We're getting a second ice cream illustration rare before a third Zard SIR. Disgusting. Exidrill, Haxorus, and Darmanitan. Don't laugh at my kidney question. Do your patented genuine response to even a troll question thing. Genuine response to a troll question. Medical advice, keep your kidneys. Do not use your kidneys to speculate in Pokemon. Thoughts on Ninja Spinner copyright for next Pokemon set? Time to pump Greninja from Twilight. I'm a big fan of Greninja. Shout out to Ponga, one of my fellow Pokemon Duel players years ago. If anyone played Pokemon Duel years ago, let me know in chat. Just say Pokemon Duel in chat if you used to play it. Used to love that game. I can't believe it's gone. I still think about it from time to time. But yeah, that's Greninja. Otherwise, I think he's cool. I think he's got a cool design, and he's been the top of some popularity list that they've done before. So I'm bullish. Garth's Nightmare Refuel. Is there anything I miss about my old job? Not really. Certain individual people I'm friends with, I still talk to today. I don't miss the commute. I don't miss answering to others. I don't miss the pay. I don't miss so many things about it. I do miss some of the challenges that it brought. It used to have me thinking in different ways and challenging myself, and it was interesting in a lot of cool ways. But this job is too. This job is interesting and challenging in different ways. Why not buy a PSA 10 Taylor Swift auto from Pop Century Dan? The Taylor Swift thing is more of a meme than anything. I have her first few CDs, and by the time I got like her third or fourth CD, that was more of a meme than anything too. I liked her first album or two. I went and watched her in concert one time, open for Rascal Flatts. I generally think her music's fine. I think a lot of music's fine. I don't have like super strong takes on music. But yeah, I need to go now because I have to go pick up my kids from school. Have a nice walk with your dog. Appreciate the content as usual. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Let's get Copper up here to say goodbye. She heard her name. Copper, this way. Come on, we're not going to the door yet. Copper. Hope everyone has a great day. I'm going to be hanging out with my kids, hanging out with my dog, building a raised bed garden. So hope everyone is doing the same, enjoying the nice weather. I think it's supposed to rain tonight. But yeah, appreciate